Good morning, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. It's your host Ram on the Cricket Show, Cricket Happenings, giving you an early welcome with the ICC T20 Cricket World Cup starting in Australia from tomorrow. The qualifiers kick off tomorrow. The first game between Sri Lanka and Namibia. So let's talk about. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to first go on to the week's cricket roundup, and then we settle down to the men's T20 World Cup. So first, let's get on to what happened in this particular week. So sort of a precise, concise cricket roundup, one could call. Talking about the cricket roundup, as far as this particular week was concerned, we had Pakistan winning the Tri Series in New Zealand. It was a Pakistan, Bangladesh, New Zealand who had participated in the Tri Series. Bangladesh were the ones who were the weaklings, and they could not win a single match. So definitely they are not going with any confidence into the T20 World Cup, and especially considering that Bangladesh don't have Tamim Iqbal. The only person who is there in the team is Shakib Al Azam, and then he has all the youngsters who are there with him, which he has to nurture. But there is no Mushfiqur Rahim, I reckon, and also Mahmudullah, the finisher, is also not available. So basically, if you look at it, this Bangladeshi team is totally into a rebuilding phase right now, with only Shakib Al Hasan into the reckoning. And I have to say, I'm not giving Bangladesh any chance. If at all Bangladesh managed to go and beat anybody in the T20 World Cup, it would be a sort of a real blessing for them. But other than that, Bangladesh probably, to me, does not hold any chances in this T20 World Cup. And if Bangladesh can really prove me wrong by making me eat up my words, that would be great. But definitely, from the look of things and from what they have done right now, I'm not giving Bangladesh any chance in this T20 World Cup. Sorry, Bangladesh, but that is what I feel about Bangladesh, because the current context of things doesn't really give me any confidence on the Bangladesh team. But let's talk about Pakistan. Pakistan are looking very, very strong. We know that Pakistan is a very good team, especially. I mean, they went on to win the Tri Series in New Zealand. They beat New Zealand. And I thought this Pakistan team has been really strengthened. Even with the 2020 World Cup coming up, Shaheen Shah Afridi coming back to the Pakistan team is going to strengthen them in a sort of an enormous manner, because we know that he is the bulwark as far as the bowling is concerned for Pakistan. And as far as Pakistan are concerned, they have two pillars of batting, and that is Babar Azam, the opener and the captain, and Mohammad Rizwan. These two, Mohammad Rizwan is an absolute run machine. And these two have a wonderful, wonderful understanding. They know what is expected of them, and they come up with the goods every time they go out into the center. So Babar Azam, Mohammad Rizwan with the key. Shaheen Shah Afridi would be the bowler. And then they have some very good all-rounders. We saw Mohammad Nawaz, what he can do. He took it away from India in the Asia Cup when being promoted in the batting order. We also saw what he did against the Tri Series as well, against New Zealand and Bangladesh as well. And then we also see some upcoming all-rounders in this Pakistan team, which is good. So definitely Pakistan are definitely having. Definitely they're very dangerous opponents, according to me, in this T20 World Cup. Now, looking at New Zealand, well, New Zealand have to pull up their socks, I reckon. But definitely they have some strong. They have Finn Allen in the team would really strengthen them, and I think New Zealand are looking good. But again, they have a lot of injury problems, and that is what they have to get over. As far as India South Africa series, the Indian second string team with the Indian mainstream already there in Australia for the T20 World Cup. I have to give full credit to this Indian team. It's a second string Indian team which went on to beat the South Africans 2-1 in the ODI series. Now, this was a good opportunity for South Africa to really improve their ODI Super League points. As you know, the one-day internationals, that is the ODI World Cup, is going to be held in India, and South Africa are someone who are not really there. They are at the bottom, and this was an opportunity for them with the Indian mainstream not there, for South Africa to really go there and take India by the scruff of the neck, but they could not do it. So that definitely proves this Indian team, even though it was a second string team, India has all the reserve talent in the tank to deliver results as well. So congratulations to India. And so that is something that, okay, now keeping the talk on India as far as the T20 World Cup is concerned. Now, Jasprit Bumrah is, as you know, like how Shaheen Shah Afridi is a big player for Pakistan. Jasprit Bumrah not being in the Indian team, to me, is a big miss, and he is going to make a whale of a difference, according to me. So that's a precise reason. I'm not going to tell you that India might probably come into the semi-finals, according to me, but getting and taking the cup is going to be a bit of an ask. And if India can do it, India can prove me wrong, that would be great. There will be no words if without Bumrah, India go on to win the T20 World Cup. But again, as I said, it's not going to be easy. I have a strong feeling that Australia, the hosts of the World Cup, who are the defending champions as well, and England, as you know, are another team which everybody has their eyes on, because they have some talented big hitters in the mix-up, and I think they have the perfect blend for T20 cricket, as they showed in their win against Australia in the MasterCard series just before the World Cup, which helps them go into this particular T20 World Cup with ounces of confidence. Josh Butler is back in form. Alex Hales has come into the team and proved his worth as well. The bowling is looking well-rounded, according to me. Yes, they are missing some big names. Jofra Archer, who was an absolute hero in the last T20 World Cup, is not available. It's a very sad scene with Jofra Archer. He's a big game player, according to me. But definitely we saw Sam Curran, who iced the England chase when England won the series. England won the series with the second one getting into rain and was abandoned. So at least England were absolutely dominant there. David Mallon is looking in pretty good nick as well. And then they have all the big game players. Liam Livingston, if he plays, you know what a difference he can make. And also, so definitely England are also looking pretty good as far as leaders. So now let's get on from here and let's talk about the men's T20 World Cup. Now, let's talk about Australia. Australia are hosting a T20 World Cup for the first time in their history. And what a proud moment for them, because they are the defending champions. And that gives them more confidence. That's the home advantage, as we call it in cricket, with the crowds absolutely buzzing there, no doubt about it. And what a T20 World Cup. I think in Down Under, Australia is thunder, according to me. And Down Under, it's going to be a thunderous World Cup, according to me. And let's talk about Australia. Now, talking about Australia, what comes to mind is the bigger grounds. Now, let's face one fact here, that in this T20 World Cup, it's not going to be very easy to hit those big sixes that you saw in the UAE World Cup. That is not going to be easy. These are going to be bigger grounds. The circumference of the grounds are pretty large. And getting the ball into the pickets, over the pickets, is going to be a real challenge. So that's a precise reason we see the spinners coming into the mix. India have gone with 3 spinners, as you know. Yuzvendra Chahal, they have the other 2 spinners. Ashwin is there, and they are really, and Deepak Hooda is a Radhamofi as well. So they definitely have gone with lots of spin into the Indian team has gone. The other thing that I would like to say here, Australia is all about pace and bounce. So if you have pace, if you have bounce, and even taller bowlers will actually benefit because of hitting the deck, and bowlers who hit the deck will extremely benefit. And I think it will be a sort of an eye-opener for all the young talent which is coming and going to play the T20 World Cup in Australia. I really can't wait. As you know, tomorrow the World Cup qualifiers kicks off with 4 teams coming in from the qualifiers to join the already 8 automatic teams, which is already qualified for the T20 World Cup. And tomorrow, the World Cup in Australia kicks off with the first match in the qualifiers, Namibia taking on the Sri Lankans. And that should be one good game. And Sri Lanka definitely are the Asia Cup champions. I have absolutely no doubt that Sri Lanka is one team which is going to make it to the center and join the other 8 teams. And I also have no doubt as far as West Indies are concerned on the other side. These 2 teams, to me, are certain to be the 9th and 10th teams in the T20 World Cup after playing the qualifiers, unfortunately. But there'll be other 2 teams who will be coming, which I'll be talking about. It could be Ireland, Scotland, Zimbabwe, Namibia. So basically we have another 4 teams there. So Ireland, well, of their recent game showing, they have run all the teams close. They ran India close, they ran New Zealand close, but they were not able to basically finish the game. So Ireland are looking pretty good according to me. Ireland and then Namibia are been doing well, and then Scotland could be someone. So I am looking at Zimbabwe. Now, Zimbabwe also is a good team. So I think it's going to be a nice matchup between all these 4 teams. Zimbabwe, Netherlands, Scotland, and Ireland. Zimbabwe would be raring to go because they have been missing the T20 World Cup. And now I think they have a good blend as well as far as batting, bowling, and fielding is concerned. And they're under a very good captain, very good coach by the name David Houghton, who himself has been successful not only for Zimbabwe, has been successful as a coach in the English County League as well. So definitely Zimbabwe will be really going there as hard as possible. So definitely we are going to have, as I said, a very exciting World Cup. Now, one thing, in Australia, we have been hearing a lot of news about floods going on, and I only sincerely hope that not a single match is ruined by rain, because we don't want that in the T20 World Cup, because T20 World Cup is something special and we don't want that happening. Yes? Okay. Now, let's talk about this T20 World Cup. So these are some general things that I wanted to share about the T20 World Cup. And we are going to have centers. We are going to have the first time Geelong in the state of Victoria will be hosting a match. That will be interesting to see. The other venues in Australia are absolutely everybody knows about it. It's Hobart, Tasmania, Sydney, the Wacker in Perth, which is the most pacey and the bouncy pitch, the fastest pitch in Australia. They have the Gabba in Brisbane, and then they have the Adelaide Oval, which is a batting paradise, according to me. But again, when it comes to T20 cricket, it is different. The automatic teams that we have here, the 8 automatic teams in the T20 World Cup: Australia, the host; England, New Zealand, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, and South Africa. And we know there is one game which is coming up. If you are an Indian or a Pakistani fan, put it down on your calendar right now. It's October the 23rd. India clash against Pakistan at the MCG, at the G, as you call it, the Melbourne Cricket Ground. But let me tell you, I feel very sad for one of the marquee and icons of Australian cricket, none other than the legend who passed away, unfortunately, named Shane Warne, the leg spinner. So definitely, I'm sure there'll be a moment of silence for Shane Warne, maybe Dean Jones as well. But Shane Warne is someone who was a marquee, absolute icon who carried Australian cricket all through. And then, as I said, once these 4 teams which come and join the other 8 teams, as we call the Super 12, begins, and the Super 12, as I said, let me again reiterate that Netherlands, Sri Lanka, I forgot about one team. I really do apologize. It was the United Arab Emirates who are there. So definitely watch out for them. They are also looking good, according to me. And they should definitely pose a few problems for the opposition. Netherlands, Sri Lanka, United Arab Emirates, and Namibia are comprising Group A, and Ireland, West Indies, Scotland, and Zimbabwe form Group B. Now, this is so definitely it's going to be an exciting World Cup. And definitely, as I said, if you look at it, Australia to me looking much favorites as far as I mean, I wouldn't say favorites, but you saw what England did to Australia just before this T20 World Cup. They beat them hollow there, and that'll be interesting. Now, one player for Australia is going to be hello Pranshu Mittal. Good to see you there. Absolutely early in the morning. And one player that I think is going to be a big game player for Australia is none other than the big hitting Tim David. Tim David is someone who is young, tall, talented, hits the ball a mile. He has awesome power. We saw him what he did with those raking 42 of just 20 deliveries against England, and he could be one big game player. As far as India is concerned, for me, the big game player for India is going to be the 360-degree player as he is known right now. His name, Surya Kumar Yadav, nicknamed Sky. And why not? He's really hitting the sky right now. I know, Pranshu, you're from India. So yes, I know you've been there up the night. What's the time in India, my friend? And very good to see you, Pranshu. So definitely, I think we are going to have a ball in Australia. I know that I'm really raring to go and want to, report each and every single match that is going on 8 p.m. Okay, I want to report every match, my friend. I will look at it. I will definitely see whether I can go the distance. Probably before I leave for office, I might be able to put in a few cricket reports. So keep your eye absolutely on. I might be coming and doing the on Saturday and Sunday. Well, I would have time to do it in the afternoon, but being my weekend. But on my weekdays, you might see me coming up early in the morning and doing this cricket show, because such is the passion that I have for cricket. And T20 World Cup is something which is going to be a big bonanza for the whole cricketing world. So as I said, for me, it's England, and then Australia, India, because Bumrah is not there. I'm expecting to expecting them to reach the semi-finals, and Bumrah not being there against Pakistan is going to make a big difference, according to me. India's matches, Pranshu, if I want to review, I will definitely review it, my friend. You keep an eye on this. 23rd is the match. Put it down in your calendar. 22nd, you should see my review coming up. India, Pakistan, definitely, man. It is a public demand that you're making, Pranshu. I'll be there to give you a synopsis, probably a preview of India, Pakistan. Definitely, I would definitely do that, Pranshu. Thanks for reminding me. Other than that, I think Bangladesh, as I told you, I give them no chance in this particular Cricket World Cup, unfortunately. Other than that, India, as I said, I'm not expecting them to win the T20 World Cup, especially because there is only one player who could make a massive difference. It's Jasprit Bumrah. Pakistan are looking dangerous opponents, according to me. West Indies, I'm going to reserve it, because once they come, we will know about it, because they have to qualify West Indies and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, to me, are going to be sort of a real threat to everybody, no doubt about it. West Indies, now on that day, they are really suited to the T20 form of cricket, as they play the Calypso brand of cricket, as you know. But for West Indies, as you know, it's all about the youngsters right now, because there's no Kieron Pollard, there is no Chris Gale, there's no Bravo, all retired right now. So it's a rebuilding phase for West Indies. So I would allow them to just go there and showcase their skills. Looking at New Zealand, New Zealand are good, but they have injury problems. If the injury problems are solved, I'm probably giving them a slight opportunity here. But looking at that, England, Australia, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, New Zealand, West Indies, Sri Lanka, and who else? So these are the teams. South Africa. Now, South Africa could spring a surprise. I know that it is for them also. It is not going to be so easy, but definitely, and especially considering that if even their second string team, India, went on to meet them, I don't foresee much of a chance. But again, now let's look at one thing, everybody. It is Australia. Pace and bounce, huge grounds. It's not going to be easy to hit those sixes. If you attempt those sixes and if you hit them, probably some of the monstrous hits can go for sixes, like Liam Livingston or probably Surya Kumar Yadav or other players. Probably they can send it for sixes with their power. So Tim David will be one who could send it, and Australia will have good knowledge of game conditions, the climbs, and all those stuff, right? So one thing that I can tell you, it's pace and bounce in Australia. Spinners will definitely come into the mix because the spinners will lure the batsmen to go for the big shots because they know they have the fielders waiting there. And probably in the attempt to go and hit a six, they might get caught in the deep. So that is something which you're going to find a lot because people are going to attempt huge shots, big shots, and that could quite be the case as well. Another thing that we are going to see, a big change in this T20 World Cup, is going to be the introduction of the penalty. So that is something that all the captains and the teams should be absolutely conscious of, because that is going to cost you dear. Let me tell you that, because if you are going to not pay an attention to the over rate, you're going to be penalized. And in the death overs, you will have 5 fielders outside inside the circle, and that will make it all the more, they would have a limitation. So you can't have a lot of fielders in the deep, an extra fielder in the deep, and that will put you at immense risk, as we have seen in this previous matches, which has been ample testimony to the fact that if you don't keep a tab on your over rate, and the captains especially, I think the captain should be given an opportunity to go and ask the umpires as to where are they lacking, so that they can really strategize. So it's all going to be a sort of a it's definitely going to be skills, but it's also going to be a matter of strategy as well. Strategize, sort of a marketing, some strategizing is going to be required. But definitely, I think this Australian World Cup, this World Cup in Australia is going to be a real thunder, according to me. And also, as I said, the first game, I'm just trying to get into the thing and just trying to see what I can really talk to you about the T20 World Cup before I wind up this cricket show, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. I'm just going to get into it right now. As I said, tomorrow we have the big match coming up. Not the big match, basically the qualifiers. And the World Cup is kicking off tomorrow. Namibia taking on the Sri Lankans. So that is going to be interesting. Well, probably Sri Lanka will go and win the match, especially, as I said, the Asia Cup champions as well. So the warm-up matches will start between India and other teams. India has to guard. They lost the match against the Western Australians. Not too much to read into it, but definitely that is something that one has to keep in view. That India won one match against the Western Australians, and then they lost the second match, which was not good news, according to me. So looking at it, Sri Lanka, Namibia is going to kick off the World Cup tomorrow. The first match, the first round, Group A, is going to be played at a new ground in Geelong, which will be probably hosting its first international match, I reckon. And it's Namibia versus the Sri Lankans. And so we have another game which is coming up that will be at 4 a.m. It's Netherlands taking on the United Arab Emirates. And as I said, it has been an absolute pleasure bringing you this cricket show very early on. Pranshu, that's a good question. I mean, being an Indian, I would definitely support India. But also, one has to be very fair. I believe in enjoying my cricket. And I would like to give credit to every cricketer who shows his talent in the right measure. So definitely being an Indian, yes, I do support India. But definitely I'm looking out for a great contest in this T20 World Cup. And may the best team win. I mean, T20 World Cup, you can spring surprises because it is just T20 overs. But it's the slam bang form of cricket, and I'm also looking at a future in world cricket where probably ODI World Cup might be a thing of the past, because now the audience basically is getting more used to getting into what you call slam bang. They want quick results, like football or other hockey or something, and they're getting it. And the T20 cricket, it's building the excitement. The gate money is coming for the cricket boards as well, and why not? And I think I'm a strong advocate that we don't want ODI World Cup. Probably, I hope that the 2023 World Cup in India happens to be the last ODI World Cup. ICC decides that enough is enough, and now we will have only T20 World Cup in the future. But the test match is something, is the classic version, where it is about technique, classical version. That is real cricket, according to me. So we should have only two versions of cricket. One is the classic version, which really is the fulcrum of international cricket, where you want players, youngsters to become cricketers, become good players, and that's only with technique. And technique is something, the essence of international cricket, according to me. So Test cricket should always remain, and T20 cricket is something which gives you entertainment and excitement. Well, dear fans and subscribers, on this note, I conclude my cricket show for this cricket show. But Pranshu, you have been a solitary visitor on my cricket show, but happy. What do you think is the greatest cricketer? Now, greatest cricketer of all times, I think I would go back to the helmetless days, because it was very difficult without a helmet to face the likes of real fearsome fast bowlers. I would probably go and give the credit to none other than the great West Indies great, was a terrific all-rounder. His name, Sir Garfield Sobers, who was a wonderful batsman, who was a terrific all-rounder, who holds the record. Who holds a record, who actually became the first ever cricketer to hit 6 sixes in a single over of a bowler by the name Malcolm Nash in English county cricket. That was the first time anybody in the cricketing world hit 6 sixes of 6 balls against the spinner Malcolm Nash in an English county game. So definitely, and also he was a terrific fielder. He was an absolutely terrific fielder. Probably, I've not seen much of him. I only seen cricket videos of him because probably I was not even born at the time. But Sir Garfield Sobers, to me, is the greatest cricketer of all time for me. Well, dear fans and subscribers, Pranshu, it's about time for me to end my cricket show. Absolute pleasure bringing you. Keep an eye on the Cricket Happening show on Sunday, and I will be back with giving you a complete synopsis of the game between Namibia and Sri Lanka, which kicks off the World Cup in the qualifiers, and also the next game, I believe it's Netherlands taking on the United Arab Emirates. Well, dear fans and subscribers, as I always say, absolute pleasure talking to you all on this cricket show. Aishwarya Jain, hello, but unfortunately, I'm ending up my show, my friend, and I look forward to your company tomorrow on the T20 World Cup on Cricket Happenings. Pranshu, thank you for coming in, and everybody, that's it from me, and good night to you all if you are all from India. Thank you. Bye.